Hello, this is a quick segment that Lee Van Ameyde and I recorded back in early to mid-April 2012. We were doing the lead up to the 50th anniversary of the station WZZM, the ABC affiliate in West Michigan. And this was cool because I got the green light from station management, Janet Mason, and the news directors at the time, that I could shoot and record the segment on 16mm film, 3/4 inch videotape with the station's working RCA TK76 video camera, and it was still working at the time. This is not Channel 13's, this is the competitors' Wood TV8's, WOTV's Camera 1. This one, unfortunately, is only half working because it's missing a component, but you know, it's still a good way to exercise in the morning. So, hear that? Don't drop that on your foot. This segment is just a recent rediscovery because I remember recording it, but I don't remember beyond watching how it looked when it aired and snagging it for the work reel, anything else. And that's typically what you would do back in the day in television news. Building resume material, like so many people build material on YouTube and put reels up there. It was the same concept. You would put it to tape, put it to disc, and then mash it up and then put it out there. So if you were moving around, you'd have some material. But that's why this is saved, and that's why all these segments that are starting to pop up on this little itty-bitty YouTube channel that has been around oddly since 2008, but I've never self-promoted it and never saw the reason to because I've never turned a dime on YouTube. Guess I'm a sucker. But yeah, this is just some broadcast television equipment history from West Michigan. So do enjoy the segment, and thanks for watching. More to come. Oh, and probably some light comedy here and there too, because I'm now a comedy writer. Yep. Meteorologist turned comedy writer. Time for coffee. All right, enjoy the clip.
Reach for the stars. Reach out for the best.
Well, you may have noticed here at WZZM 13, we are celebrating 50 years of broadcasting, and we got kind of a mini broadcast museum right now, specifically as it relates to technology of news gathering. Blake Naftel is here, who is not only one of our current MMJs, but also, that's a multimedia journalist, but also kind of a knowledge of the history of this. So let's start out with what we got right here.
Sure. Let's go back into broadcast time when everything was shot on 16mm film.
Right.
When you arrived here.
Right. When I arrived, we were about 75% film, shot on cameras like this, which is a silent camera, also had sound cameras, and we were about 25% what we called toy tape, or an engineer called toy tape, which was the new videotape that was coming into vogue. So it was 25-75 at the time.
Now, why was one format preferred over the other? I mean, you mentioned before that film was shot more trustworthy.
Yeah, why did we call it toy tape? Well, because this is what they were used to. I mean, obviously film had been around for a long, long time. They trusted it. This was a new technology. That is the camera. This is a TK76, as you know, and that's what we had. We had two of them, and they just weren't sure that it was going to work. And I think it was just kind of, they were slow to adapt to it.
And now jumping into the late 70s, we have the TK76 and 3/4 inch. Now, you're pretty familiar with these, right?
Absolutely. I did shoot on this a couple of times. It is a horrendous experience, and we actually did have photographers that had regular chiropractic appointments because it was so heavy. And we're going to do a little demonstration on that in a bit, because it's the camera, it's the recorder, and it's also the battery belt, which you're wearing right now.
Yeah, I know. It's rather bulbous here on me.
But I think this really saved local television news, because with film, you had scratches, you had breakage, you had overexposed, underexposed, you had film runs where you'd lose the whole story. So with videotape, it really was more reliable and just looked better. And we're going to see how much these guys had to actually carry around.
Plug the camera into the belt. Yes, and that's quite bulky here. So here we go.
All right, I'll set it up. There you go. Remember, you were 163 with just you and the belt?
Right.
204.
Wow.
So that's how much you were. Now, remember, you're shooting, carrying things around. Very often you had to have an external microphone. Sometimes you had to have a light on that. So it was odd. You're even taller when you're standing on that.
I know. Isn't that ridiculous?
So that's it. A little look at the technology. It's really rapidly changed. And now, of course, we don't even shoot on videotape. We shoot on disc. And
right.
The cameras are much lighter, much smaller, and much easier. All right.
Indeed.
Thank you very much, Blake.
Thank you, Lee.